Yes. Good evening, Ume.
Good evening, Nuri.
Yeah, today here we are on our mental health talk and we are going to discuss on the topic judgmentalism
Yes.
and how do we calm it down.
Yes.
So we will be talking our own perception and thoughts on what is it. And since you and only me are here, so let's have a discussion and let's have a share of thoughts on our own thoughts. Right?
Yeah.
What say?
Yes. Let us start. So before we both start, right? So it is
Mm,
going to be completely based on our perception, our thoughts, and what do we understand out of it. And because you and me, both of our us are trained mental health counselors, so we are also
mm.
going to discuss it from an angle of mental health as well. Okay. So it is not something which is it can be academically correct or academically. If you're expecting something, it is not that. It is completely based on whatever I am thinking and whatever you are thinking, right?
Yes,
Just want
whatever
to
we
make
have
it
been
clear.
through. Mhm.
Yes, just want to make it clear for all the
Mm.
audience.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
So
let's
let's talk
start
about
by
it.
the proverb as it goes like, don't judge a book by its cover.
Cover.
There's
Yeah.
some proverb, right?
Right. Don't judge the book by its cover.
Mm.
That is so true, right? That is a quote which tells that don't judge the book by its cover. It means to say that people are not what they actually look like. You should not judge people by how they look or whatever. That's what I understand. What about you?
Yes, I do think so because as we all know, everyone has their own story. Everyone is going through their own struggles in their life. So we never know what they are going through, and we cannot know also.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's. Mm.
Hmm.
So what do you think on judgment? What is your perception? Can you put some light on it?
Okay. See, judgmentalism comes from the word judgment. Okay, when we talk about judgment as a concept, then it is called as judgmentalism. Okay,
Hmm.
so judgment is something which
Hmm.
we as human beings we naturally keep doing. We keep judging not even only human beings. We also keep judging the situations, the surroundings, the things, everything.
Hmm.
Okay, like for example, if a small dog or a cat is walking and we just assume, we just judge the cat that or the dog that he's coming towards me and he is going to bite me, but that is not all the case all the time, right? Like for example, if some girl is looking
Hmm.
pretty, we will make judgment that she is looking pretty because of the privilege that she is having. Or if some person is buying clothes for
Hmm.
themselves, we will feel like he's doing a lot of show off. So many things, natural things. Like if
Hmm.
we are talking about something, some political party, people will think that we are supporting that party, or we are promoting something, some
Hmm.
propaganda or something like that. So there are so many things.
Hmm.
When we talk about judgment, it is like when you don't know exactly about that person or about that situation, but you still want to come to a conclusion, you still want to make that interesting and create a story out of it. That's what I think. Not like for example, I will keep judging you like you have a lot of attitude.
Yes.
Okay,
Hmm.
so when we met at the first time, I might be judging you. Oh, Nuri is having lot of attitude, lot of attitude. Um, she's not
Hmm.
talking to me, lot of attitude. I might be feeling I'm judging you, but I
Hmm.
have not spoken to you. I don't know your reality. I don't know your nature. Without knowing anything, I just keep having those
Hmm.
things in my mind.
Hmm.
So maybe things like
Hmm.
this, constant judgment like this, many of the things are there in our daily life which we keep doing, right? Don't you think so?
Hmm.
What is
Yes. I that whatever you said, all these things, like it's 100% true. And judgment is something we decide what is right and what is wrong according to ourselves, right?
your
Like
yeah.
we already make some decisions in our mind, and we just put those. We just pass those judgment on
Yeah.
anyone, on everyone.
Hmm.
And I think judgmentalism or judgment is something like we have learned through our experience in our day to day. in our life experience, as well as we have started learning it from since our childhood days only. Like
Hmm.
from our childhood only, we have been told like this is correct, this is wrong,
Okay.
the way you behave, this is right, this is wrong, and that has already been placed in our mind, and we have just, it is just been suppressed and it's already there. So whenever like it becomes our habit, since it is already there, so we don't have to, like we don't have to think like, oh, I have to make a judgment. No, like at first glance or at first meet or at first sight only, we just pass the judgment, even being aware of it, like we are not aware of whatever judgment we are making, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
And like
So
unconsciously
naturally,
we are making it. Yes, yes.
unconsciously, and it's very
Yes.
naturally that we are making judgments. Actually, I think when we started growing up, and when once
Mm,
whenever I think in the college time, when we started getting to know things, when we became more self-aware and aware of what other people are thinking about us, that is when I have come across the word judgment. Before that, I was
mm,
never aware of this, and nobody told me, even not maybe the
mm.
parents or the teachers. They might teach you these things about judgment, making people, being judgmental, judging people for no reason, all of those things. So it is not taught to us so easily,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes. You're right. Like it, we are not aware of this word judgmentalism or judgment only. Like it's just, it's already in our blood, I should say.
It's
No.
something that we are doing again and again without knowing whether it
Mm.
is right or wrong, or
Uh,
without even putting a thought that why we are doing it, because it's so common, and it's so we are just doing it subconsciously without any meaning or any benefit out of it. So
yes.
what do you think? It is good, it is bad? Why do we do it? What do you think?
I think I don't know why do we do it, but whenever we do it or whenever I do it, I think I always presume that I am right, whatever judgment I am making, or I don't know that I will be not aware of I am making a judgment also, but I always think that I am right based on me. This is these things, like it has to be like this, and so I start creating my own thoughts inside my mind, creating own what say principles or sets of rules that they has to be like this and that. So because of those things, I start having judgment or passing judgment on people, and I always think that yeah, whatever I think it's correct, it's correct. So
Yeah,
I am not aware also whether I'm making judgment.
yeah,
And
yeah.
because of that only, I think it has become our habit also, like
Mhm.
we
It's it's
are
it's like
habituated.
breathing. It's like breathing. We don't
Mm.
realize we are like breathing like that.
Yes,
Definitely,
yes.
yeah. But you see, if it is
And
habit,
because Mhm.
yeah, you're saying,
Yeah, I
you
was
go,
saying like because of those habits, no, since we are making judgment,
yeah.
and since we are showing it in our habits, day-to-day habits, and that only what makes our in like whatever behavior we show, also based on those things only. It's what I think.
That is true. That is true. So whatever we
Mm.
are thinking, that is what we do it in our actions, right? Knowingly
Mm-hmm.
or unknowingly, we keep talking about this also. Like for example, if you and me are friends, we will look at a third person, and we will start judging the other person, and we both also, we will not realize that we are judging. Seems like
Yes.
she's come out from college. Something we will make it up, and we will say, but that is wrong. That is so wrong.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at it in a moral thing, and we don't even realize that it is wrong.
And yes, and somehow we will start justifying ourselves that whatever judgment we are making or whatever we are thinking
Yeah.
about them, that is true,
Yeah, that
right?
is true. Correct, correct.
Mm.
So, think I think why we are judging is because first of all, we are like conditioned. It's like we don't even know that we are doing it. We've been, the environment that we have and the kind of life
Mm.
that we live. It is something that it comes to us naturally. Judgmentalism. I think people are not even aware of why they are judging people, but still
Mm.
we keep judging. It's a natural activity. People, we want to draw conclusions and go ahead. Again, I'm telling
Mm.
everyone that whatever we are talking, it's based on our perspectives. We are talking and discussing on this. So
Yes, yes.
I really don't know what is the scientific reason behind judging or not judging people, but that's what I believe. So what do you think, Nuri?
Hmm.
Judging people, is it a right thing? Is there any benefit from judging people, or if it will have more negative impact?
I think based on the type of judgment we make, so based on our thoughts, depends on what effect it will give us.
Hmm.
So if we make a good thing and we are ready to learn from that thing, then I think that will benefit us. But if we are making a negative judgment and if we are being so what critics, I think that
Critical.
will affect.
Yeah, yeah.
That so that will put a negative impact on our own mind as well as our behavior.
Hmm.
So that is the thing. See, even passing judgment not only happens only on people, right?
Hmm.
We can see we are making judgment based on everything, like professions, let's say profession and places,
Hmm.
different races. So
Hmm.
we'll start making judgment based on everyone. So
Yeah.
judgment or judgmentalism is not limited to only people. It has a wide variety of areas where we are making judgment,
Hmm.
and the
Yes.
type of food we eat also. I think we are making judgment on those things.
Yeah. We are so used to it. We're so used to
Mm-hmm.
it. Seriously.
Mm.
It
And
is.
based on those, yes, Ume.
Yeah, I feel like whatever, like since we are doing this too much and so often, right? We don't.
Mm.
I think it is most of the time, majority of the time, we are the judgmentalism is negative.
Hmm.
It's
Yes, yes.
negative, and even if it we are judging in our mind, okay. Even if I'm doing right now, if I'm doing judging someone or judging something in my mind,
Hmm.
okay, I don't think so it will be like 100% positive, right? It is
Hmm.
majority, like majorly it will be negative only. Why do you
Hmm.
think we will do this judgment kind of thing, and that too in a negative way? Why are we so attractive towards judging people, and it is more in a negative perspective? Why?
Because I think one thing comes in my mind is like inferiority complex. When
Inferiority.
we feel that we are inferior to that person or to that thing or to that any kind of environment, then we start making negative judgment on them just to justify ourselves that whatever we are, it's more than enough compared to them, right?
Right, right. So it's
Mm,
like protecting our ego.
yes, yes, yes.
It's like
What?
defense mechanism.
Mhm. What about you? Your thought on
My
this?
thought, same. I believe that
Mm,
we are using judgment that is in a negative way. We can also use it in a positive way, right? I can
yes.
just, like for example, if a person is coming out of a hospital, I can think of two things. I might think
Hmm.
one, Ayo Papa, the person has suffered an injury. Or
Hmm.
a second thing is, oh my God, the person is so irresponsible. He might have hit someone else, and in the due course, he has injured himself also. Both things are possible, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
if when we are making judgment, if it is on a positive side, definitely it is going to uh, be helpful for us. It will not harm us. But when we are
Hmm.
putting that negative seed in mind, if I feel like we are feeding our ego, feeding our arrogance, we become like, we try to make ourselves look above them. Like we feel like we
Yes.
are right, we are above them, we are only
Hmm.
right, and we are like, by what authority are we judging the other person, right? We don't have any
Hmm.
right to judge him. He has not asked us to, tell me how do I look, tell me what do you think about myself. Nobody comes and asks us, right, for judgment. We
Hmm.
only give it
Hmm.
freely. It is so free that we are giving it every time to other people.
Hmm. That's what we said, like from our childhood days only. It had, sorry, it hasn't been taught to us like what is judgment, and I think in fact people were not aware of like what is judgment and whether it has a negative impact on individual, like the one who's judging and the one who's being judged as well, right?
Right, right. Yeah, true.
Mm,
So, like when it comes to mental health, I think
mm,
being judgmental is okay, fine. But
mm,
when we are overdoing it, and when the judgment, when you see that it is coming more in negative terms, I feel
Hmm.
that is when you should start thinking about it and you should start analyzing. And as counselors, you and me know that we have to be non-judgmental towards people, because we don't know what they are going to, until and unless till the time you sit down and talk to them and know exactly the why behind what, then only I
Hmm.
can understand why the person is right now, what is the reason behind him being this person.
Hmm. Yes, yes, that is true. And I think not only as a counselor, there are many areas where people has to be non-judgmental in order to provide a better, what's say, better profession.
Okay.
Like, let's that is like in many areas is, let's say, in this medical field only, right? We can see like we have to be non-partiality. Non-partiality means being non-judgmental only, right? Like
Towards the
we
patient.
start creating judgment, then we will definitely will be starting being a partial.
Hmm.
And
True.
I think in working environment also, like we have to be non-judgmental in order to have a good environment,
Yeah, that is very
comfortable
true.
working environment. So it
Yeah.
applies to everywhere if we think about it.
Yeah, it applies everywhere,
Mm.
even if do you think it is applicable in the family and personal relationships?
Definitely, 100%. And I
Okay.
think the family, no, sometimes we, even if they're right or wrong, we don't think about it. We just think that they are family. And I think making a judgment also, it's, I have never have a judgmentalism thought on my family. I never do that, because what I think is, even if they're right or even if they're wrong, they're just family. So I'll just accept them, whatever, however they are.
That is
But
good.
depends on individual,
How
like,
they are taking. Some people
mm,
take judgments too seriously. They become very offended. They are
mm,
annoyed. Like, but like seriously, if we are very, like, you are very understanding, like you are very accepting, even if the family, if the personal relationships people are making judgments, you accept them and you don't let it bother you, right?
mm,
But some people, they are so sensitive towards judgments, they don't want, even if the other person is thinking wrong about them, they have a problem.
mm,
They have a problem. And here there are two cases, okay? It is person A who is judging. He doesn't have any right to judge other people, okay? Especially when it comes to
mm,
the negative judgment. Nobody,
mm.
like, the other person has not asked him, but the person is making judgment. And also the other person, right, even he should
Yes.
not trouble himself thinking that what people will think about me, what judgment will people make out of me. Again,
Mm.
both the things are
Yes,
something
yes.
which is taking place here. Like,
Hmm.
both the
And it has a lot of impact on the mental health,
how
right?
do you how does it affect your mental health?
It affects, no, when we start having those negative thoughts constantly, and when we start making negative judgment on the people, then it automatically shows in our behavior as well.
Right.
And we will start behaving in a very different rude and very partial way.
Hmm.
Not only in our behavior towards them, but our behavior to ourselves also. I think like we will not be able to focus on our own goal, own path, and on our own daily activity. We will not be able to focus because our mind is constantly being negative, very negative. So it has a lot of impact on mental health when we start overgoing what crossing those thin line of being very over judgmental,
Yeah.
right?
Right, right,
Hmm.
right. So what we are doing is we are giving too much of space for judgments, right? Making judgments and thinking about how other people are doing. There is no space left in your head. There is no energy
Hmm.
left inside of you. As you told, no, you will not have. You will be distracted. You will not be working on what you have. You're supposed to work. Like for example, you and me. Like I am preparing for, like, let's say, any competitive exam or
Hmm.
something. I have really something very important to me, but still I am sitting and making judgment to other people. I'm creating judgment for other people, and on the other hand, I may be sitting and thinking why other people are judging me. Both the things are wasting time, right? I'm not getting any monetary benefit out of judging or thinking about whether I'll be judged or not. simply I'm wasting time and energy and all my efforts. I could have used the same 30 minutes or 1 hour thinking about that judgment. Instead of that, I should have gone workout, like done workout for 30 minutes, or I should have prepared a good meal, cleaned my house, prepared a chapter for UPSC. All those things are there. Unnecessarily I'm indulging myself, allowing myself and my brain and everything to get into something which doesn't have any result. It only has damage. It just takes up your space and everything.
Yes, 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 that is true. Like we are just wasting our own time also, by keeping ourselves on those thoughts, right?
Yes, yes. And
Uh,
definitely when we keep doing this, it becomes our habit, right? You keep repeating this cycle again and again, and because we keep thinking about it, that pattern that becomes our habit, and we get adjusted. Like those feelings are there, right? It doesn't let us do other things. We feel very
mm-hmm.
irritated, we feel angry, we feel agitated. It's not a good feeling. It doesn't bring or create any positive thing. It is very draining. It drains your energy.
And I think it will affect on our relationship as well, right?
Right.
Relationship to
Right.
whomever we will have. So it's going to have a very bad impact on all those things.
Right, right. So,
Mm-hmm.
like judgmentalism, I think we have spoken more
Mm-hmm.
related to the mental health topic. It is something which is seriously, it disturbs your mental health, especially when you're
Mm-hmm.
doing it in negative terms. But when you think about something positive, definitely it will give you positive results. If you're
Yes.
thinking about a person positively or about a
Mm-hmm.
situation, if you're thinking about that, because when things are positive, we accept it and we leave it. But when things are negative, I don't know for what reason we dramatize it so much in our head, as if like we are addictive and we like being attracted to negative things, talking negative things. It's like a sweet poison for us to keep drinking, like judgmentalism.
Hmm. Yes, yes, and based on that only we will start showing behavior also based on our own judgment, like our judgment towards the people. We'll start showing our behavior towards them. Like we already have a this fixed judgment. Like for example, if I say for me, because I will treat if even if you look on the professions, I will treat it differently towards doctor than the way I will treat to taxi driver
Yeah,
because we already have those mindset in our
head.
mind, no? Like
Mm.
they are those things, but we don't know what are the things that have been going through. The both of them, they have been going through same struggles and same things.
Simply,
Yes, yes,
just because he's a doctor, we will judge him in a different way, and just because he's a taxi driver, we'll judge him in a different way.
and
Only one thing, I will ask you one question.
hmm,
What do you think? Thinking negative is very easy, or thinking positive is very easy?
that's what I think. Thinking, finding something good in others is very, very difficult
Very
for
difficult, right?
us. Yes, yes,
Yes. It is
and
so
that's
easy
where
to
it
find
lies.
negative things.
We are very easy to find out the mistakes in others. Like
Hmm.
it will be very easy for us, but
Hmm.
finding something good in others is like we will never, we don't want to even have our
We don't even want to look at it. We don't even want
yes,
to
yes, yes, yes.
think. It takes so, oh my God, this person, what is the good inside him? DNA analysis, test, everything we need to do, and then it's so difficult, right?
Hmm.
Positivity, where, it is the opposite case. When you find good in people, then only you can make the relationships last.
Hmm.
Not everything, like you definitely, everybody will have good and bad. I will also have my good and
Hmm.
bad. You will also will have my good and bad. But what is it that
Uh,
we're focusing on? If we
and
keep
and Ume, like they say, no, if someone speaks bad about someone, like we will accept it very easily. But if someone speaks something good about others, we just try to find out the proof, like whether it is
Yeah,
true or
yeah,
not.
right, right. From where did you get this?
I just it the thought just came across in my
Yeah, that
mind,
is
like
true. That is true because we verify the information. We don't verify it like if the person
their
is good,
mistakes.
really
Yes.
good. Yeah, the person is really good. I will ask it from one more person, and if the person is giving the same judgment, oh, okay.
I have to go and look for myself. Like that, will say no. But
Right.
if someone says like he's bad, then we will not think about it. Also, we will not think about going and speaking with them. Just
Right.
accept the fact that they are bad.
So bad, right? So bad.
Mm. Mm,
we
yes,
are
yes,
being
yes.
we are being so unfair to people. We are not even giving ourselves a chance to know the person and then make a judgment based on other people's
Hmm.
judgment. We are
Yes,
again
yes,
making a
yes.
judgment. So
Yes, we
toxic.
are not experiencing it ourselves.
Yeah,
So
it is so
that's where negative impact of judgmentalism also lies,
right, right.
right? Mm-hmm.
And these things are like when you start becoming aware that judgment, being judgmental and being affected by judgmentalism, you start thinking that okay, now I know the fact that it is wrong, but how do I calm it down? What are the ways in which I stop doing these things and make the best of my make the best out of it?
Yes, yes. I think in order to calm it down, first we have to be like first ourselves. We have to be aware of it, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct. We need to be
Mm.
aware of that. That is the first step.
How you will be aware of all those things? Like, can you
Like
just explain something?
yeah, when you start feeling that the person is not that bad, but I'm thinking about the person in a negative way.
Hmm.
You get to know that because you're constantly doing it, and maybe you might have read about judgmentalism, you might have come across some experience where you thought bad about a person, but if the person turned out to be good at that time, when you say, oh, initially I thought bad but she's good, when you come across these kind of experiences and become aware of it, read about it, then you understand that no, this is something which is wrong with me, and I have kept on doing this for so many people. And
Hmm.
if the person really wants to work upon his judgmentalism, remove his and becoming non-judgmental, then they will definitely think about it, go find ways in which they can calm it down.
Hmm. Hmm. Yes, yes. And I think being aware of whatever we are thinking towards other people, like whether it is really necessary or whether we really need to think about all those things, right? Whether it has any, does it really matter, like whether we have to think about all those things? I think being aware of those things also, it's a
Doesn't
one way to
matter.
calm it down. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That is the thing. Like when you keep thinking that it is, I'm thinking right now, I'm making judgment about this person, but constantly at the same time telling that it is no use of me, and the person has not asked me to judge about him. Just
Mm.
keeping that thought in mind will definitely be good.
Yes, and I think other point when I look at it, it's like if we are being empathetic towards those persons, and if we look from their own point of view,
Yeah.
then I think it's one way where we will be less judgmental on them, right?
Right, we have to be empathetic because we don't know, like as you said in the initial of the session, right? We don't judge the book
Mm.
by its cover. We don't know what they're going through.
Mm.
So just have that thing in your mind that having that empathetic mindset is also very important, and having that empathetic attitude and behavior is also very important, because that's how if your everything comes down from this. If you're having a mindset,
Mm.
then definitely from mindset it translates into thoughts, your words, your speech, and then definitely your actions and behavior. So you need to
Yes,
fix your
yes.
mindset. You have to be a little empathetic, right?
Mm.
You need to help
And
people.
yes, yes. Because like I think when I think about it, like at first sight only, when we start making judgment, we will be not aware of whether we are making judgment or not, right? So at that time, how do we come all those things? Like we cannot be aware, oh my god, like I'm making a judgment, right? Because we have already passed the judgment on others.
Right. So at that time,
Mm-hmm.
what I think what we need to make sure is that, um, as you said, no, if some other person coming and telling the bad things about it, you will believe it. So at that time, we should keep it in our head that yes, definitely initially, if I'm seeing a some person or something because of the first impression or something, I might have already passed judgment in my head, but at the same time, it is my responsibility to do the homework of knowing the person and then coming to a conclusion. I should have that thing in my mind.
And I think that depends on the one whom we are making a judgment, and depends on the person whether we really want to make a judgment or not. Because sometimes we usually make a judgment on strangers also, like people passing here and there, or when we look at a place, suddenly starts making judgments. So we don't have to go deep understanding of what is that and what is this, right? So I
Right.
think at that time we can think is whether it really matters to us or not, the way
Yeah.
we are judging,
Right,
right?
right.
And the time we are giving for those judgment, whether those time matters or not. I think for those things that we have to think about it, and we can just avoid it.
Yeah,
Right.
we can avoid it by not paying our attention towards the person, paying attention on
Mm.
other things, like paying, first of all, paying attention in the good, right? You told it is very
Mm.
difficult to find good thing in a people. So trying to channelize ourselves, making our system realize that, okay, if I'm looking at some situation or if I'm looking at a person, I have to find something good out of them. Training our
Mm.
mind, I think so. Training our mind, it'll be, yes, difficult, it is difficult, but
Mm-hmm.
training our mind to look good, that is a challenging, very challenging thing. It is difficult, but
Yes.
definitely it will give us good results.
So yeah, yeah, you are true. Like these things will not come at a time,
Mm.
right? Well, like
Yes.
just
Yeah.
by thinking on it will not come. Just we have to practice it on and on. Like we have to keep practicing it. Then only we will start having all those uh, what all those things, and we'll be start being aware of whatever we are doing,
Right.
right? Hmm. So when I look on these what I said, no, the areas of judgment like we make,
Yeah.
I think like when we start making judgment, or when we start having those judgment on our head, like which we are not aware, of course. So what happens is like we start creating status in our own mind, like these people, we have to treat them nicely. These people, we have to be little bit, yeah. So based on those, also we will start behaving with them, right? We start behaving with them very differently based on our own status, based on the status that we have thought. So I
Yeah.
think behavior is also one thing where we can know like whether we are being judged, we are being judgmental or not, right?
Correct, correct.
So I think by being aware of our own behavior also, we will be able to know,
Hmm.
like, and we can calm it down.
We need to calm it down, and I think, right, people will, you know, people will discuss about why judging people is bad.
Hmm. Hmm.
People
Hmm.
will discuss more about it is not right to judge people, but people will rarely speak about how do you not judge people. People will really speak
Hmm.
about, okay, if you're judging people, how do you judge it in a right manner, like by
Hmm.
not looking at the bad things, looking at the good things. There are very less people, and I think so, people who are morally responsible, right? People who want to take care of, their thoughts and their mindset. Even, here they don't want to cause any harm to people. So
Hmm.
it takes a lot of responsibility. The person should be really, 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 if a person is holding a lot of responsibility, that, yeah, even if I'm looking at people, I should not make any judgment about them. I think it
Hmm.
takes a lot of moral courage, I believe. It takes a lot of strength and moral courage, because the person is wants to take the ownership and the responsibility that, yes, I feel I do not have any right to judge the other person, or to judge the other person thinking that the person is a wrong person, unless I know anything wrong about him,
Hmm.
right? That those things are there.
Yes, and that is one we are talking about, like if we are making a judgmentalism on others, right? So now let's say like if you can you say some points on like the people who are judging on us, like the judgmentalism, it goes in two ways. Like first one is like making judgment on others, and second is being judged.
Right,
So
right.
being judged is also one big thing, like we have started taking it very seriously,
That
and
is
and I think it also has a very what a very big impact on our mental health,
wrong. Mm. Yes,
which
yes, yes.
shows in our day-to-day life as well as our behavior. So
Mm.
would you like to talk on it?
Yeah, yeah,
Talk on it.
yeah, yeah,
Mm.
definitely. See, because I don't know for what reason, there is no need of you to be validated. Okay, it's like girls,
Hmm.
right? They always seek for validation. They want other people
Hmm.
to compliment that, hey, you're looking pretty, you're looking beautiful, you look so nice, all of that. But
Hmm.
at the same time, when they are judged, they feel very bad. Oh, she's
Hmm.
so spoiled. She is such a gold digger. If somebody else is judging that, she doesn't want it. She wants only the good. She wants
Hmm.
other people to compliment her, respect her. But at the same
Hmm.
time, if somebody is telling some bad things about her, negative judgments about her, she's not happy with it, and she thinks about it, and she's crying, and she's not liking it. She's letting it affect her mental health. Those things are happening, right?
Hmm.
So I think a person should be very matured. In
Hmm.
life we have
Hmm.
to be open. Like in life we have to be open. People will definitely all people cannot think good about us, right?
Hmm.
People will think good about us if they give us their judgment through compliments, through motivation, through good words. But some people who do not want good for us, who think about us in a negative way, they pass the judgments. So I think, because there are so many possibilities, right? When it comes to people will like you, people will not like you. People will love you, people will start hating you, or sometimes people will not either like you or love you. They might not have judgment also, right? So at that time, you should have a mature mindset that there are all kinds of people available, and people will do good judgments also and bad judgment also. So at that time, now it is your choice to give attention to what kind of judgment, right? You should avoid giving your focus and your attention to the negative judgment of the people. They have done it, okay, no problem. You don't go and scream on them or jump on them, or again, you don't have any right to tell them you should not judge me. Who am I? Because it's their mind, it's their mouth. But still, if they are talking about me, they are not directly coming and telling me, right? I will definitely, when people will judge people, they will not do it in in person. It's mostly through a third person, or they will just discuss it in their own group.
Yes, yes. Then have you ever felt like you have been judged on something, and have you ever come across all those things?
Yeah,
Just
often.
anything.
Yeah, yeah. Like,
Hmm.
you want me to say any side experience or any story?
If you are comfortable to share.
Yeah, like I have come across, like people have told me that I have a lot of attitude. That is very common.
Hmm.
I don't know why, because I'm so like a small pussy cat. Okay, I don't know, because like initially I don't talk to people, right? I'm very silent natured.
Hmm.
I will be very, very quiet and silent if I'm in a new environment, or I will be very, very quiet. So
Hmm.
if I get comfortable with you, then you will have to keep me shut. Like you have to like, okay, stop it, shut up. You have to tell me all those things. So people
Hmm.
have judged me just because I'm silent. They will think that I will carry a lot of attitude. I have a lot of head weight. People will keep judging, but after they start to getting to know me, right? After that, that judgment they have had before, right? They will change
Hmm.
that judgment. So they will
Hmm.
think that the judgment, whatever they made, it was wrong. But yeah,
Hmm.
definitely over the course of time, you might change judgment about people also, right? Once you start
Hmm.
getting to know them, the judgments change. Don't you think so?
Yes, yes, yes. That is very true. I think once we come across with the people and once we start knowing them, start understanding them, then our thoughts on them will definitely change. Like what we had thought in the beginning, that will definitely change at the end. Like when you start understanding them, right?
Right, right. So it is
Mm-hmm.
something which keeps on changing, and what you are thinking about the person today, after some time you might have changed your thoughts about the person, right? It is something
Mm.
which has a lot of changes. You will change your perception, change your judgment over a period of time.
Yes, yes. And I think having all like making ourselves understand about others is one important thing that we can know about. Like we can be aware of what judgment we made before and what judgment we have now. So I think those difference also will make us aware of what we like, how we were being whether we were being a good judgmentalism or whether we were being a bad judgmentalism towards the people, right?
Right, right. That is true.
Mm,
And as you said, it comes from self-awareness. You should be,
mm,
you have to be, not many people think about it, or they don't even want to care about, judgmentalism, whether it is a important topic for me or not. So
mm,
it is
mm,
something which is only limited and only related to people who think about it, who feel like,
mm,
yeah, judgmentalism is something that we need to talk about, or we need to remove the bad judgmentalism from our life. Only for those people, because people are so busy in their lives that it is very rare that people are now self-aware, right?
mm, mm. Yes, that is true. And people are not aware also. Like they might be thinking, "Oh, judgmentalism. What is that? I haven't thought about it. I know I am not judgmentalism. I'm always correct." But once we look in ourselves, and once we start being uh, understanding ourselves, then we will come to know like whether we were ready or not, right?
Yes.
So I think judgmentalism really has a very big impact on oneself, and I think judgmentalism is not a very what limited topic where we can discuss. I think it has a very big impact on every area, to wherever we come across, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
True, true.
So
And we should take this in mind that we should not easily, give any strong judgment. Okay, if you're having interaction with a person or something like that, don't give it a negative thought too much, because maybe initially it is negative, then it can also turn positive in over a course of time. So we
yes,
should
yes,
not,
yes.
yeah. It is something which is unconscious and it will keep happening, but we should not let it affect our life.
Mm. And you know what? When we start having those negative judgmentalism, no, when we start thinking negative about those things, our environment also will become very uncomfortable. I think we will not be able to act as who we are.
Right, right.
So, in order to make ourselves comfortable as well, we have to think about ourselves, and we have, for that purpose, also, we should be aware of what judgments we are making,
Yes.
what
It
we
is
are
so
thinking about
important.
others.
It is so important.
Yes.
It becomes
Mm-hmm.
easy for people to deal with people if you just think that, oh, this person is having this good quality also. So even if I
Mm.
don't like that person, just for the good qualities that he's having, I might give a smile at that person. I might
Yes.
talk to a person. That person, will feel good that I have identified something good inside of him, and he will feel better about himself. So think, it is
Mm-hmm.
it is as if like you're, looking for a positive stroke, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think where everyone looks for the negative things on others, like we should at least see some positive things on them. So I think that will also make them feel comfortable with ourselves, and we will come to know who they really are, right?
Yes, yes. Shifting your focus towards the positivity, not paying so much of negativity, attention towards the negativity, and just being self-aware makes a lot of difference, and it really helps you calm down the judgmentalism that you're having. But the first thing is that being self-aware that you are being judgmental here. That is the first step.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. And sometimes we have to think from here also, not from here.
From here, from the heart.
Yes, yes, that is true. So, may I think this judgmentalism today, it was a very
I think we have
good
covered
discussion
most
to
of the
have. Yeah,
topics.
yes, yes.
We
And
have,
I'd like to state some points before
yeah,
we close these things.
yeah,
Me and Ume, we are mental health counselor, as we already have stated in our these posters, as well as every time we will say in our group discussion that we are mental health counselors, and we'll focus on the people mental health. So
yeah.
if anyone is looking for a counseling, if anyone wants to take counseling, we provide counseling as well, right, Ume? And we
Yes.
will provide individual counseling as well. So we will be sharing our email IDs, so you can
If anybody
send
needs
your
some
message.
psychological
Yes,
help or
definitely.
any support,
Mhm.
they can contact me and Nuri. And we will not be
Yes.
judgmental when it comes to our counseling sessions, because as a counselor, we are not supposed to be judgmental. We are
And
completely
we are not judgmental. I think we are trying to be a good human being, and we are trying to find good things on others as well, right? So we are ready to help. So If anyone needs, please contact us. And thank you for listening all these things.
Sure.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Nuri.
Thank you. I think we should stop the recording.
Thank you.